What if I told you that the reason people don't respect you isn't because you're not good enough, but because you're holding on to habits that quietly destroy your own worth? Today, we're not talking about motivation. We're talking about transformation. This is for those who are tired of being overlooked, tired of being underestimated, tired of blending in. Respect is not something you ask for, it's something you embody. And to do that, you have to make some serious decisions about who you are and what you no longer tolerate. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the * 5 habits you must eliminate immediately * if you ever want to command the room, elevate your voice, and walk with a presence that says, I am not here by accident, I belong. If you've ever struggled to feel seen, valued, or taken seriously, this message is your wake-up call. Every second you stay the same, you delay the future that's waiting for you. But if you stick with me till the end of this video, I promise, you won't walk away the same. You'll have the clarity, the courage, and the conviction to rise above small thinking and finally start living like the powerful force you were created to be. Let's get into it. When you constantly seek validation, you hand over the keys to your self-worth. You allow other people, sometimes strangers, to determine how you should feel about yourself, and when their opinion shifts, your confidence shatters like glass. This is not a solid foundation for respect. People respect those who stand firm in who they are, even when no one claps, even when no one agrees. The need for validation is rooted in fear, fear of rejection, fear of not being enough, fear of standing alone. But the most respected individuals in any room are not the ones who beg for attention. They're the ones who command it through presence, integrity, and consistency. When your actions align with your values, when your mission isn't determined by applause, you become untouchable. Not arrogant, just grounded, self-assured. People can feel the difference between someone who's authentic and someone who's performing for approval. There's a certain peace that follows a person who doesn't need to prove themselves. And that peace is magnetic. The irony is that the more you chase validation, the more you repel respect. But the moment you stop needing it, people begin to admire you. Because in a world full of masks, being real is rare. You don't need everyone to like you. You need to like yourself when you're alone. That's the real test. That's the real power. Start asking yourself, am I doing this because it aligns with my truth or because I want to be liked? Am I making this decision from purpose or from a place of insecurity? When you lead with internal conviction instead of external approval, your voice gets stronger, your boundaries become clearer, your presence becomes undeniable. Respect isn't something you demand. It's something you earn by showing up consistently in your truth, by having the courage to stand even when you stand alone, and by choosing integrity over popularity every single time. Apologizing unnecessarily is a habit that quietly chips away at your confidence and erodes the respect others may have for you. There's a difference between being accountable and being apologetic for existing. When you say sorry for things that don't require an apology, like having an opinion, asking a question, taking up space, you're essentially telling the world that your presence is a disruption, not a contribution. And that message, repeated often enough, begins to sink into your own mindset. It teaches others that your time, your thoughts, and your needs are less important. It trains people to treat you as less because you're acting like you believe it. Respect doesn't thrive in a space where you're constantly shrinking. It thrives when you stand tall and own your worth without feeling guilty for it. Apologizing for mistakes when necessary is honorable, but apologizing for your existence is damaging. It's subtle, but every time you unnecessarily say sorry, you give away a little more of your personal power. Instead, replace those apologies with expressions of gratitude and confidence. Say thank you for waiting instead of sorry I'm late. Say I appreciate your patience instead of sorry for bothering you. This reframing shifts your energy from guilt to strength, from insecurity to self-respect. It's not just about words, it's about the way you carry yourself. People pick up on it. They respond to it. When you communicate like you belong, others start to believe it too. If you want to earn respect, begin by showing that you respect yourself enough not to apologize for being human. You're allowed to take your time, you're allowed to need clarity, you're allowed to speak up, you're allowed to make space for yourself. People may not notice the change immediately, but over time they will. Because the energy of someone who stands in quiet confidence, who walks into the room without shrinking, who doesn't over-explain or over-apologize, that energy is rare, and what's rare is respected. So stop weakening your voice with unnecessary apologies. Own your presence, own your space, own your worth. Seeking validation from everyone is a silent destroyer of self-respect. When your confidence depends on how many people agree with you, how many likes you get, or whether someone else approves your decisions, you're living your life in fragments, constantly adjusting, constantly molding yourself into what others expect. But here's the truth, you will never earn respect trying to be liked by everyone. In fact, the more you chase approval, the less authentic you become, and the less people trust you. Respect isn't born from popularity, it's born from conviction. It's built when you stand firm in your values even when they make you unpopular. It's built when you make decisions that align with your purpose, not someone else's preference. The strongest people are rarely the loudest or the most followed. They are the ones who lead with clarity, not consensus. When you stop looking over your shoulder for applause, you start moving forward with focus. You begin to live a life that's not diluted by public opinion, and ironically, when you stop caring so much about who agrees with you, people begin to respect you more. Why? Because confidence is magnetic. People don't follow the ones who beg for approval. They follow the ones who give themselves permission. When your identity is no longer fragile or shaped by likes and comments, you start to tap into your true influence. You begin to command rooms differently, you walk differently, you speak with a calm authority. People sense when you are secure, and that energy is contagious. It gives others the freedom to be more of themselves too. Validation is a temporary high, but self-assurance is long, lasting. The world doesn't need another version of what's already trending. It needs your voice, clear, strong, and unapologetic. Respect begins the moment you stop performing for applause and start living in truth. And no one can take that from you. People who overpromise and underdeliver unknowingly sabotage their own credibility. They think they're building connection by agreeing to everything, but what they're really doing is building distrust. When you constantly say yes to things you cannot follow through on, you're not being generous, you're being dishonest. And while your intentions might come from a desire to help or be liked, the result is that people begin to see you as unreliable. Respect is never built on broken commitments. It's built on follow-through. It's built when your word becomes your bond. In a world full of noise and empty promises, being someone who does what they say they'll do consistently and without fanfare is powerful. It's rare, it's magnetic, because it means you're not living in fear of disappointing people. You're living in alignment with your truth. Saying yes when you mean no is a betrayal of your own time, your energy, your priorities. And over time, it leads to resentment, burnout, and a deep sense of being taken for granted. If you want people to respect your time, you have to start by respecting it yourself. That means setting clear boundaries. That means being honest about your capacity. That means choosing integrity over popularity. It's better to be known as someone who communicates clearly than someone who says yes to please and then disappears under pressure. Leaders, real leaders, do not promise the world. They promise what they can deliver, and then they overdeliver in impact. They'd rather surprise with excellence than impress with empty intent. If you want to earn long-term respect, stop trying to be everything to everyone. Start becoming someone others can count on. That might mean saying no more often. That might mean disappointing some people in the short term, but in the long term, it positions you as someone whose time, energy, and word hold real weight. People admire those who mean what they say and do what they promise. When your actions and words match, you become someone others trust, not because of what you say, but because of what you consistently do. Respect doesn't come from how much you offer. It comes from how well you deliver. Trying too hard to be liked is one of the quickest ways to lose respect. When you constantly adjust your behavior to gain approval, you send a subtle message to others that your value is up for negotiation. People can sense when you're performing rather than showing up with authenticity. And the truth is, no matter how much effort you put into pleasing everyone, someone will still disapprove, someone will still criticize, and someone will still misunderstand you. Chasing approval is a race without a finish line. The more you run toward it, the further it seems to get. Respect doesn't come from bending yourself into shapes to fit other people's expectations. It comes from standing firm in your own. Those who command real respect walk into a room not trying to impress, but simply being rooted in who they are. They speak not to be accepted, but to be heard. They act not to be admired, but to be honest. That kind of grounded presence is magnetic. It draws people not through performance, but through purpose. And the irony is, the less you care about being liked, the more people are drawn to you. Not because you're cold or arrogant, but because you're real. And in a world of masks, being real is rare. That kind of self-assurance doesn't need to dominate or demand. It simply leads by example. You earn more respect when you're not afraid to disagree, when you're willing to take an unpopular stance, when you set clear boundaries without apology. This doesn't mean being harsh or disconnected. It means being clear, honest, and unapologetically yourself. People don't respect perfection. They respect courage. They respect consistency. They respect someone who stands in their truth even when it's uncomfortable. If you want to be truly respected, stop filtering yourself to be palatable and start showing up as you are. There is nothing more powerful than a person who knows they're not for everyone and is at peace with it. Because respect doesn't follow those who chase approval. It follows those who stand in their own authority. Being dishonest with yourself is a silent destroyer of self-respect. It's easy to overlook because it hides behind justifications, rationalizations, and excuses. But the truth is, every time you lie to yourself, whether it's pretending you're okay when you're not, ignoring the habits that are pulling you backward, or denying the calling inside you that keeps knocking, you weaken the very foundation of your character. Respect starts from within. You cannot expect the world to value you if you keep devaluing yourself by refusing to face your own truths. Honesty isn't just about telling the truth to others. It's about standing in front of the mirror and refusing to flinch. The most dangerous lies are the ones we believe because they're comfortable. I'm not good enough. I don't have time. Maybe someday. These lies build walls around our potential, brick by brick. And every time we repeat them, we dig a deeper hole. To earn respect, especially your own, you have to be brave enough to see things as they are, not as you wish they were. That means calling yourself out when you procrastinate, when you break your word, when you settle for less than you deserve. It means holding yourself accountable not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's uncomfortable, because your growth lives in that discomfort. When you're honest with yourself, something shifts. You stop tolerating mediocrity. You stop staying in relationships that drain you. You stop accepting goals that don't light you up. You begin to align your actions with your values, your voice with your truth, and your decisions with your destiny. People around you sense that shift. They see the clarity in your eyes, the purpose in your steps, and they respect it, not because you demanded it, but because you earned it. True self-respect is born in the fire of radical self-honesty. It's in the quiet moments, when no one's watching, where you choose the harder right over the easier wrong. And in those moments, you become someone even you can admire. And when you respect yourself deeply, the world learns to follow your lead at the end of the day. Respect isn't about demanding attention. It's about becoming someone who no longer needs to. It's about removing the habits that weaken your voice, dilute your presence, and make you question your worth. When you stop pleasing, when you stop over-explaining, when you stop tolerating disrespect, when you start speaking with intention and acting with conviction, everything changes. People will no longer see you as an option, but as a standard. True respect begins the moment you decide to stop negotiating your value. And that choice, it's not made once, it's made daily. In every conversation, in every boundary, in every room you walk into. You don't have to be the loudest. You don't have to be the smartest. You just have to be the one who no longer allows habits that shrink your power to stay in your life. That's how respect is earned, not overnight, but through consistency, courage, and self-respect. Thank you for staying with me through this message. If something spoke to you, take it seriously, reflect on it, apply it, and most importantly, share it with someone who needs to hear it. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss more content that pushes you to become the strongest version of yourself. Keep rising, keep building, and never forget you were made for more.